to another episode of Art That Plays and Prays. If you're new to this channel, thanks for dropping in. My name is Ginger and I'll be working on an illustration today. In children's book publishing, sometimes you're required to work with a limited color palette. Sometimes too, you're asked to draw a bunch of lots of stuff in a single page. So in this video, I'll take up that drawing challenge and try to put more than 40 things in this one illustration. I'm also going to limit myself to only 3 colors: orange, blue, and brown. Well, if you know me, you'll understand that I have a long-term love affair with colors, so limiting myself to 3 is a near impossibility. So I'll take all the shades of orange and all the shades of blue and brown just so I can survive this challenge. It's customary to draw thumbnails before starting off with an illustration. Thumbnails are rough sketches that help you put down on paper the concepts floating inside your head. I pretty much have an idea of what I want to put in this page, so I'm sketching directly and I'm using a colored pencil because I get very messy with graphite pencils. Anyway, like I mentioned in an earlier video, I like my illustrations to look authentically hand-drawn instead of digitally mastered. I don't mind crooked lines and imperfect coloring, and by that I mean coloring that sometimes go outside of boundaries and may look like it was done by a kid. Picture books illustrated by Oliver Jeffers have that kind of organic quality, which is really so endearing to both children and adults. Now, my illustration style it's quite rudimentary too. If you notice, for instance, my picture frames are not perfectly square, and the other one is not perfectly oval either. But I'm not obsessing over its lack of proportion or perspective because to me, honestly, every illustration has its own artistic merits. Appreciation of art is very subjective. Some people may like your art style, others may not. But what's important is that the painting process should be fun and intuitive for you as the artist. So play with your gifts. Be happy with your own personal style, and don't compare yourself with other illustrators because honestly, the comparison can either make you too arrogant or make you feel jealous and inadequate. And so either way, the impact on you wouldn't be positive. Comparing yourself with other artists will just stunt your creative flow, so don't even go there. Alright, you'll notice that aside from watercolor, I use Caran d'Ache colors and colored pencils to scratch out texture into this piece. I discovered that while watercolor is still wet, layering with neocolor pastels adds visual interest to the illustration. With visible crayon marks, texture builds up so the illustration doesn't look too far flat or it doesn't look too one-dimensional. Sometimes I dip the neocolor in water before I lay down the pigments. Other times I scribble with dry crayons and that achieves a different effect. Okay, there's one more thing I want to say. When planning a picture book illustration, well, sometimes you have to consider where your light source is. Where will the bright colors be? Or where's the direction of the light? Will the lit spots be on the top or the right or left side of your panel? You decide. Also, when objects cast shadows, how long are the shadows? Or how far are the shadows spread out? How dark do you want your scenes to be? It's up to you to decide that too. And often the decision depends on what feelings or mood you want to evoke. It depends on the story. Like generally, the brighter the scene is, the happier the emotions are. If you want to project feelings of gloom or mystery or maybe fear, then normally you play with darker colors. In this painting, I wanted my light source to be on the upper right side, the upper right hand side. The light is not that blinding, and I want to preserve the warmth of the room with just a few dark tones and mild shadows on the left side. Okay, that's it, friends. I tried as best as I can to stick to the limited palette I decided for this piece. So I have here shades of orange, brown, and blue. I do admit the red-orange turned out to be a little too red, so please pardon that bit of deviation from my challenge. But I did put close to 50 items in this illustration instead of just 40, so yeah, double thumbs up for that effort. Okay, I hope you enjoy this video. I don't normally say this, but I realize that 95% of people who watch my videos in this channel, they aren't actually subscribers yet, so I'd love to invite you to subscribe and so we can have more art adventures together. Thank you. This is Ginger from Art That Plays and Prays. Take care and see you again next time.